Thank you very much, Prime Minister Mia Amor, for that very important message. We are definitely very honored to be able to have her on our stage tonight. Now, it is my unique pleasure to introduce another amazing woman. She is the Honorable Marta Lucía Ramírez, Vicepresidenta de Colombia. Marta Lucía was the Conservative Party presidential candidate in the 2014 election, and she received the third largest share of the vote. In 2018, she became the first woman to hold the position of Vice President in the history of Colombia. She has also served in many high-level appointed positions, including as the Colombian Minister of Commerce, Colombian Ambassador to the French Republic, and the first and only woman to have held the position of Minister of Defense in Colombia. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming la Vicepresidenta de Colombia, la Honorable Marta Lucía Ramírez.
Good evening. I would like to say everybody hello, but I would like to thank Michael Shifter for inviting me tonight. Of course, I would like to say hello to everybody one by one, but most of everything I would like to say hello and to congratulate Carla Hills for her amazing job as President Emeritus of the Inter-American Dialogue, and also Peter Hakim, and all the members of the board of the Inter-American Dialogue. I would like to say hello also to Roberto Vélez, the president of the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros of Colombia, Aida Cortázar, Amparo Jaramillo, two amazing coffee women from Colombia, and you are going to meet and to understand about the coffee through these two impressive women. I would like to congratulate Daniel Lamer, CEO de Cirque du Soleil, Alejandro Ramirez from Cinépolis, and of course my friend, also Laura Chinchilla, former president of Costa Rica. She is always a woman who inspires us, women who are working in politics, which is not a very nice word nowadays. I'd like to say hello also to Alicia Bárcena, the Executive Secretary of CEPAL. And I also would like to say hello and to congratulate the new Minister of Foreign Affairs from Colombia, Claudia Blum. She was recently appointed by President Iván Duque like 1 hour ago, so I don't know where she is seated, but I would like to congratulate her. You are clear that she will have a very important task to do, and we feel very, very happy to have her in government. The first thing I want to recognize is that I feel at home here at the Inter-American Dialogue and in this room full of friends. I was a member of the Dialogue for 15 years, and I also have the privilege to serve as a member of the board of directors. And that's why I feel so happy to be here tonight in this gala. A friend of all of us, Enrique Garcia, said many times that the gala of the Inter-American Dialogue is a gather of a lot of very important businessmen and women, of course, a lot of very important representatives from the civil society. And he said, the gala is full of former ministers, future ministers, future prime ministers, and of course a lot of ministers. So to all of you, we feel so happy to join with you tonight. And I want to congratulate two of the honorees tonight, the Cirque du Soleil for its amazing work with young people in many places, including Bogota, Cali, and Medellin in Colombia, our country. Cirque du Soleil works with at-risk youth to help them find a future through arts and performance under the leadership of its CEO, Daniela Mar. And also, it's very important to congratulate Alejandro Ramirez, a social and entrepreneurial driving force with a real passion to serve and help others through Mexicanos Primero and the Foundation Cinépolis, and as a CEO of Cinépolis, which is also present in several Colombian cities. All Colombians have a love affair with coffee. It runs in our veins, and of course, I'm not different. I start every day at home with my husband, as billions of people in the entire world, with a cup of coffee. And of course, with a coffee grown with love and passion by 440,000 familias cafeteras from Colombia who live in 600 municipalities of our country, more than 50% of the total municipalities of Colombia. My relation with coffee has been for many years. As a former Minister of Foreign Trade, I used to serve also in the board of the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros, the National Coffee Committee, and this federation is a very original Colombian idea made by the coffee growers. This federation is an important one because they have been working with Colombian governments for more than 90 years, developing economic policies. For all of you, it's clear that coffee was the main Colombian export for many years. Now we have a more diversified economy, but for many years, the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros was a kind of a central bank. The monetary policy, the economic policy was discussed and sometimes decided in the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros. And in this special evening, it's a pleasure for me, and I feel so honored to be here with all these people who are very committed. All of you are here because you are committed with values, you are committed with serving others, and mainly committed with serving societies. Nowadays, when uncertainty is it's a common word in all the countries in our region. For all those reasons, it's a pleasure and honor. It's a pleasure to honor the National Federación de Cafeteros of Colombia, an emblematic federation. And again, Michael, thank you very much for this invitation. And a special thanks to my fellow Colombian, Denise Yanovich, who worked very hard in order to make this happen. Our recent history has not an easy one. Colombia is a beautiful country for many reasons. It's creative, hardworking, and compassionate people. Its breathtaking geography from La Guajira to Nariño, its nature and biodiversity, and of course, our coffee. There is no doubt. We are a blessed country. Until now, we have more than 7 million of registered biological different spices, biological register, more than 7 million. It's an impressive number. We also have in Colombia 44.8% of our territory, which is oceanic territory. Colombia is one of the very few countries, a bio-oceanic country, with not only the Caribbean and the Pacific, but also with more than 40 rivers, 42 rivers exactly, which means almost 20,000 kilometers of fluvial navigation in our country. So we are very clear that we have been blessed, and that's why President Duque is leading not only a good economic policy, because let me know that we are one of the very few countries that it's going to have a positive GDP growth during this year, maybe 3.4, 3.5%. This is not only the International Monetary Fund, but also the World Bank. And recently, the OCDE has mentioned Colombia will have maybe a 3.5%, but it's also a reality that we are working very hard under the leadership of our president in order to have in Colombia a bioeconomy. And that's why it's so important that we are very committed, not only with an economic growth, but also a sustainable growth. And ours is one of the very few national development plan that it's very focused in the 17 sustainable goals of the United Nations. So it's clear that all the Colombians are realizing right now how important it's to have all this biodiversity and how important and rich could be our country if we are focused in this opportunity of the bioeconomy. Of course, we have had so many struggles and difficulties in the past. All the countries are having difficulties right now, challenges. And unfortunately for us, one of the most important reasons why we have many of our difficulties is because of the violence, and the violence caused by narcotraffic. So that's why in our government, we are very focused in 3 pillars. First of all, legality. We are clear that if we want to have a developed country, we need to be committed with the rule of law, with a good judiciary system, with strong institutions, but more than that, with respect. Respect for others, respect for the world, respect for public goods, and of course, the commitment to fight corruption through transparency. This is one of our first pillars. The second pillar is entrepreneurship. Today in the lunch, some of us were discussing about how important is entrepreneurship. For us in Colombia, it's so important because we really believe in entrepreneurship and in new enterprises. We are promoting not only the old and big enterprises and private sector, but also small and medium-sized firms. And that's why through entrepreneurship, we are expecting to develop job creation in our country. We are expecting to have a better economic growth. And as our president has mentioned many times, if we have a rule of law and if we have a very good economic growth through the private sector, through new entrepreneurs, we are going to reduce inequality. And this is the key goal for us in Colombia. We are clear that numbers are not enough. It's not enough to say 3.5%, but it's our mandate and what it's our decision. It's to fight and to work hard in order to reduce inequality in Colombia, and that's one of the reasons for us, that's one of the reasons why we are here, very proud of our coffee growers, very proud of all the women who are in this field of the agriculture, and they are acting as real entrepreneurs. One of the priorities for us in Colombia is to promote not only coffee, but also the agribusiness, because coffee was at the beginning the main export. The Federación Nacional de Cafeteros, they developed so many very good strategies. One of them is to have cooperativas de productores, producers cooperatives, and that's why they have these 540,000 families in all over the country. And now this is the same path that some other sectors in agriculture are following. Cacao, for example, is a very good product that we can develop in Colombia, and this is one of the main products in order to eliminate coca crops in Colombia, and of course to plant cacao, to plant pepper, palm oil, and others. So Federación de Cafeteros is the best institutional example about how, through association of producers, we can develop economic scales, and we can develop higher productivity and more competitiveness in the international markets. But what is also very impressive in Federación de Cafeteros is that they developed Cenicafé, one of the most advanced coffee research and scientific centers in the entire world. When no one spoke about sustainability, our coffee producers were investing millions of dollars in assuring that Colombia coffee production would have the highest standards in every aspect of our conquer, and they were decided to conquer the world not through quantity but through the best quality. And that's why Colombia is still the best quality of coffee. I'm not sure if some Brazilian friends are here, but I want to say clearly Colombia has the best quality of coffee in the entire world. Right now, Federación is a crucial partner for the stabilization policies led by President Duque and his administration in many regions of our country. We work together in many areas such as health education, bringing connectivity to the countryside, one of our administrator's priorities, and of course, to fight against the illicit crops. The vision of the cafeteros also created the globally famous icon called Juan Valdez. Juan, I saw you when I came, so please say hello to everybody. Juan Valdez is here with us tonight, and we feel so proud of him also. No mention of our coffee producers would be complete without specifically talking about the role of all these women in the coffee production. They are the stability force in coffee-growing families, but even more than that, more than 150,000 of the 500,000 coffee households are led by women, 1 out of every 3. Besides their duties running their farms, they face the challenges of raising their children and keeping their families together all by themselves. In most cases, they are also very active members of their communities. That is the case of 2 amazing coffee producers that have joined us tonight, Lucaida Cortázar and Maria Amparo Jaramillo. These 2 women are one of our best examples about the Colombian women, not only in the rural areas, but also in the urban areas. And let me say, very proud, that President Iván Duque is the first president in Colombia who took a decision to have a parity cabinet, to have a woman as a vice president, and we 2 together are working in order to have gender equality in our country. So gender equality means that we have to be very focused in promoting women in the rural areas, in the urban areas, of course, in promoting girls not only to become agricultural women, but also to promote women to study mathematics, science, technology. We are completely convinced that through the education of our girls and through the empower of our women, not only empowering women in the agriculture again, but also empowering women in business, empowering women as entrepreneurs, empowering women in politics, we are completely convinced that we are going to have in Colombia one of the most advanced economies in our region. And that's why we feel that becoming the 37th member of the OCDE creates us a lot of challenges. I have to say that the previous government took a decision to include Colombia as a member of the OCDE, and it was a very smart decision, and this is a decision that President Duque and all we in the government are following and we are maintaining, because it's so important to take the best standards, to take the best good practices in order to strengthen the Colombian institutions, to strengthen the Colombian economy, but also in order to strengthen the Colombian human being. We want to educate, we want to give better health services, we want to provide all the conditions to have a country with real parity conditions for everybody. So as members of the OCDE, we are convinced that the economic growth in Colombia and the decision to include men and women in the entrepreneurship and as members of this society is going to give us the opportunity to have a really peaceful country. Nowadays, we still have a lot of problems because of narcotics, and that's why we feel the war against narcotics is not only the state war. This is a society's war, and this is a war where we need to have partners, and real partners, working together through a better collaboration in the justice, the judicial system, a better rule of law for everybody. So I would like to say Maria Amparo and Lucia are one of the best examples that we have about the Colombian women. Maria Amparo comes from Caldas, one of the oldest coffee-producing states. Coffee and quality are in Caldas the DNA of Caldenses. They have played a key role in the growth and quality of the Colombian coffee and the well-being of farmers since the foundation of the Federación. In fact, one of the trademarks of Caldas is education, precisely education. And that's why the headquarters of Cenicafe are located there in Caldas. So I can say that we feel so proud about Federación de Cafeteros. Me as a vice president feel so proud to have women like these two who are able to educate their children to build a better future for themselves, for their communities. And let me say, in Colombian rural areas, we still have a very unfair conditions for all the peasants, because unfortunately for us, we have a very high levels of informality. More than 60% of people in the rural areas are informal. But which is worse is that women are 90% informals, so it means no social security, no nothing for the elder age. So these women are showing us how women can change forever the rural areas in Colombia, the communities, through their labor, through their commitment and their decision. The Distinguished Leadership Award of the Social Equity is a well-deserved recognition in this contribution of the coffee growers and the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros is development to its social fabric and its international leadership, the past, the present, and the future. I want to congratulate the Federación, the CEO of the Federación, Roberto Vélez, Maria Amparo and Lucia, and through them, each and every one of the 540,000 coffee-growing families in Colombia.
Acá volver a
I asked Maria Amparo's permission just to tell you how this woman, she got a cancer less than 2 years ago. She have had more than 50 therapies and sessions, and she said, I feel very proud to be here tonight with you.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. Michael Shifter, President of the Inter-American Dialogue, Her Excellency Julie Payette, Governor General of Canada, President Laura Chinchilla, of course, Her Excellency Marta Lucía Ramírez, Vice President of Colombia, and this is good news, brand new, Ms. Claudia Blum, newly appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs of Colombia. Congratulations. I would like to say hello to all of you. I wouldn't like to mention the VIPs because I would never finish, but recognize you for all of you for coming today. I would like to present my fellow Colombian coffee growers, Maria Amparo Jaramillo, Lucia Kotatsu. And although you see them so nicely dressed, I would like you to see her hands, are the hands of a true coffee grower. I want to start by thanking the Inter-American Dialogue, its board of directors, again, Mr. Michael Shifter, for the very prestigious award for the social equity to the Colombian Coffee Growers Federation. Congratulations to the other honorees, the Cirque du Soleil and Mr. Alejandro Ramirez. It's an honor and a privilege for me to receive this award on behalf of 540,000 Colombia coffee growers family. People ask me frequently, what is the Colombian Coffee Grower Federation, or the FNC? And I always told them, what, do you want me the long answer or the short answer? And I'll go for the short tonight. The Federation and the FNC, as we call it, is the result of the vision of the coffee growers who got together in 1927. Listen, 92 years ago, and founded the institution. They understood that only by working together, they could defend their interests, improve their lives, promote their coffee, and bring it to the market. But they didn't stop that. In 1928, the vision led to create an extension service that today consists of more than 1,500 professional agronomists that go all around Colombia, helping the growers, teaching them new techniques, and bringing them the news from the coffee world. In 1938, we founded CENICAFE, the most advanced coffee scientific research center. You will be amazed how many people coming from the developed world come to CENICAFE and they get really, really moved by the way we do things on the research of development. In 1940, we created something that is quite unique, a fund that is funded with our own taxes. People think we are all trying to get rid of taxes, and you coffee growers are asking the government to tax you? Well, we did. And we founded a fund that became the capital and the backbone of the Colombian economy. With the fund, we brought public work to the coffee growing areas. We did schools, we did roads, and we brought electricity, water, at the point where a famous economist in Colombia used to say that the federation was a state within the state. And in that we are an example because we never cross our hands and ask the government, can you do, please do. No, We are doing. And sometimes we need the societies to do things. We also created in 1960 the famous figure of Juan Valdez. There you have it. Hello, Juan. And with that, we brought to Colombia something that is quite unique. Everybody in each country is looking for something to identify its country. Well, Colombia is coffee, and coffee is Colombia. So we've done our job. We didn't stop that. We are giving that value as well, adding value. We created a factory, a freeze-dried factory, that is the largest under the one roof in the world, and brings new technology and new things to the coffee growers. However, none of that would have been possible if it wasn't the way that the FNC is organized. FNC, the Federation, is a non-for-profit, democratic organization. We have votes every 4 years. Our elections are as big as some of a small country. Every 4 years, we renew our bodies. And we are fully committed to try to work on the improvement of the livelihood of the coffee growers. Now, with the new approach, of course, with many partners, over the years we have worked continuously with the USA Department of Labor, with Howard Buffett Foundation, Inter-American Development Bank, and many other companies from Europe, Japan, Mitsubishi Corporation that are here. The FNC is nothing but the expression of a vision of those who founded, and those to continue making the organization true to its principles, 540,000 families that grow coffee in Colombia. And coffee is the glue that has created and maintained the social fabric and has allowed Colombia to be what it is. Farmers have faced the same challenges as the rest of the country, and we still do, even in our darkest times. However, it's also true that it's the place where coffee has been grown traditionally. Violence was less intense, and communities were more resilient. Today, we face the old and new challenge, like very low international prices, and we need to continue bringing the stability and development to the cafeteros. To the face of them, we've been working very closely with President Iván Duque, whose unquestionable leadership and commitment to the coffee growers have been instrumental to continue improving their lives. I want to give a very loud special thank you to Colombian's Vice President, Marta Lucía Ramírez. She has also been tireless driving force and advocate to the Colombian women, starting from those who grow coffee. Not just in her role as Vice Minister and Minister of Trade, as a Senator, Ambassador, and first female Minister of Defense and first female Vice President. She is the best example of what Colombia women represent and can do, like those more than 160,000 women head of household that grow coffee. Today, I just brought two, and I would like them to talk instead of me. So please, Maria Amparo and Lucia, come forward. I just would like them to show and to tell us in 1 minute what the Federation means and what coffee means. ¿Qué es para ustedes la Federación y el café?
Muy buenas noches para todos y todas. Mi nombre es Lucia Cotazo, soy caficultora, hija de caficultor, nieta de caficultor, orgullosamente caficultora.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to translate. I am a coffee grower. I'm a daughter of a coffee grower. I'm a granddaughter of a coffee grower.
En nombre de 540,000 familias en Colombia, en mi departamento 90,000, agradecemos este reconocimiento al trabajo de la mujer.
In the name of 400,000 families, 900,000 in Cauca, her department, we just really want to thank you this honor.
Hablar de mujer es hablar de familia, hablar de pasión, de entrega, de constancia, de construir día a día.
To talk about women is passion, is construction, is everyday hard work.
Construir paz. Es un orgullo, de verdad, hoy estar aquí y poder representar a la mujer caficultora de todo Colombia y en especial la de mi departamento del Cauca. Seguiremos.
It's a construction of peace every day. I'm just very proud to be here, to be representing my departamento, el Cauca.
Seguiremos cultivando el mejor café del mundo para el mundo. Gracias.
They will always continue to grow the best coffee in the world. Doña María Amparo.
Buenas noches. Es un honor estar aquí y les cuento que me quité un traje muy lindo que tenemos todos los días los agricultores colombianos del café.
Good evening. I just want, first of all, to thank you for being here. Today, I took off a very special suit that I wear every day as a coffee grower.
Y me traje otro vestido de gala para mostrar lo que somos, el honor de ser caficultoras y caficultores colombianos, bajo la mano de la Federación Nacional de Cafeteros.
Today, I wore a very special dress, so you can see how proud I am to be part of the Colombian Coffee Growers Federation.
Y mostrarles que nuestro mundo brilla como mi vestido. Nuestro café es de oro para nosotros y para el mundo. ¿Y saben por qué es el mejor café del mundo? Porque tiene el trabajo, el amor y la dedicación de las familias caficultoras de todo el mundo en la organización de la Federación Nacional de Cafeteros. Es nuestra casa, somos iguales, no hay diferencia, crecemos en los mismos derechos. Las mujeres trabajamos unidas con las familias. Somos únicos en el mundo, no hay nadie que tenga la capacidad de crecer, de estar en el mundo como nosotros los caficultores con la Federación de Cafeteros.
I'm just very proud. Thank you. For those who didn't understand, she just wants to know everybody that she feels that it's a family, that the gold coffee is like gold. Colombia has the best coffee in the world, and they're proud to be the growers of this coffee, and she's part of this incredible family that is the Colombian Coffee Growers Federation.
I want to thank you and thank the ladies. Thank you for the award. It's not just for the FNC. It goes to each and every one of the farmers who put all the hard work, love, and passion to produce the best possible coffee and to make their communities more prosperous every day. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Vélez, for your leadership, and also congratulations to Mrs. Cortázar and Mrs. Jaramillo for working together and really creating and defending the rights and improving the quality of life of our coffee growers. I think we have to say Viva Colombia, right, with this, all these awards. So now please enjoy your delicious dinner, and we have 35 minutes for dinner, and we will be back for the rest of the program.